Hello, this is Sarah Braasch. Welcome back to my channel. So I want to do a video right now about not saying Black Lives Matter, but saying all lives matter. And I'm someone who always supported the Black Lives Matter movement, always. And the reason why I'm saying this is because Black Lives Matter, the entire movement, has become part and parcel of the tyrannical woke agenda of the political left and the Democrats. And they don't actually care about Black people, they don't actually care about racism, they don't actually care about police brutality. Because if they did, then they wouldn't have spent the past 2 years destroying the Living While Black movement by turning it into a blood sport targeting vulnerable white women as collective punishment for Trump, and also because it's an easier way to make a cheap buck than actually addressing real racism and police brutality. And I am specifically, on my own behalf, beseeching everyone and asking them to please say all lives matter. Please do not say Black Lives Matter, because I almost died. I almost died. My life doesn't matter, didn't matter, and still doesn't matter to the Yale administration. My life didn't matter and still doesn't matter to the Yale student body. My life didn't matter and still doesn't matter to the Yale campus police, including Yale campus police chief Rennell Higgins. My life didn't matter and still doesn't matter to the entire moral outrage industry, and this includes the fake news press, it includes the ACLU, it includes the New York Times, the LA Times, the Washington Post, CNN, MSNBC, NBC News, GMA, The View, and the list just goes on and on and on and on. My life didn't matter and still doesn't matter to the political left and the Democrats. Joe Biden's campaign co-chair, U.S. Representative Cedric Richmond, almost drove me to suicide multiple times by telling disgusting lies about me in the fake news press. My life didn't matter and still doesn't matter to the appeal and its president, Josie Duffy Rice, who, along with Rebecca Kavanaugh and Patricia Arquette, incited a Twitter mob against me, exploited George Floyd's death, and tried to drive me to suicide on Twitter by mobbing me, and also cracked jokes while she incited a Twitter mob against me and targeted me for my mental health disability, stigmatized mental illness. She was clearly relishing driving me to suicide on Twitter. My life didn't matter and still doesn't matter to the Hollywood elites, including Jimmy Kimmel and Sarah Silverman, who pushed the defamatory debacle that amounted to a death threat against me in the LA Times and the New York Times by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And my life doesn't matter and still doesn't matter and never mattered to Rosanna Arquette, who retweeted my stalker, who retweeted the deranged rantings of my stalker, what was basically and very obviously a love-hate note from my stalker, with whom I have absolutely never interacted. And she retweeted my stalker's deranged rantings about me to her however many hundreds of thousands of followers, Twitter followers that she has. And she did this for revenge. She did this for revenge because I rightfully called out her sister Patricia Arquette for participating in a Twitter mob against me that almost drove me to suicide, I am a well-documented and lifelong human and civil rights and anti-racism activist. And also, the Living or Napping While Black hate crime hoax at Yale, per the video that Lolata Siambola took of herself, which was the grossest violation of my privacy, was also very obviously meant as a campaign to publicly shame me for my mental health disabilities. So that's what you're participating in. So clearly, my life doesn't matter. My life doesn't matter. The New York Times made 2 super fun and funny front page games out of trying to get me killed. So my life doesn't matter. My life doesn't matter. I was ousted from Yale. I was terrorized in my isolated dorm room for months, and actually I was terrorized by the Yale student body for years. Because they're elitist monsters. They targeted me for my mental health disabilities. They terrorized me. And then finally they ousted me as a poor white trash interloper. And I literally had to flee Yale's campus for my life. And I was taunted by a mob while I was waiting for my Uber driver. And also I had to immediately flee my dorm room because Ijeoma Oluo told her 200,000 Twitter followers to stalk and harass me there. Anyway, I just want to make that really clear that the woke intersectional feminists, of the fake news press, of the political left, of the Democrats, of the Hollywood elites in academia, they want you dead for being unwoke, for straying a hair from woke intersectional feminism dogma. This is not about the Black social justice movement anymore in the US. That's not what Black Lives Matter is anymore. And it is now, it has become what Terry Crews called Black supremacy. It's no longer about equality, it is about revenge. Tonight everyone is saying on Twitter, oh, you white women should be happy that we're not trying to get you killed for revenge. Well, they are still trying to get me killed for revenge. They are still trying to get me killed for revenge. I'm still in hiding. I'm still being deluged with death threats and threats of violence. I'm still intermittently suicidal. You are trying to get me killed for revenge. And it's not okay. And that is what Black Lives Matter has become. That is what Black Lives Matter has become. And this is why I'm begging everyone to please say all lives matter. Because my life should matter. My life should matter. My life should matter. Why doesn't my life matter? So please don't say Black Lives Matter anymore like our Vice President. Please say all lives matter.